How's it going, everyone? As you can see here, I have a pile of PS2 controllers, and I wanted to show you my PS2 controller collection here for a minute. So, basically, my PS2 DualShocks are going bad, and I've had a lot of third-party ones in my collection for a while, so I got them out because I'm going to have to swap to one of them here in a while to kind of, be able to play my PS2 again, because these are all going, my actual DualShock ones are going bad. So I figured, hey, while I got all these out, why not go ahead and show them to you guys and show you my kind of like DualShock collection, because a few years back I got a bunch of third-party ones. I was planning on doing some reviews for them, and I never did. But if you guys do want individual reviews for those controllers, let me know, and I can do it eventually. But this video, I'm just going to show you what I was collecting. So this controller, this is just a regular DualShock plain one. It's starting to get stick drift. I don't know if you can see, but this stick doesn't go back to the center all the way now. So it's starting to go bad. This one went bad before that. It will randomly just disconnect for no reason. So that kind of sucks too. So both of my actual Sony brand ones are going bad. So that is the unfortunate fact about these controllers. They're getting older. They're starting to go bad. So my third-party controllers, though, here's this one. This one I got because it was actually Mad Catz, and Mad Catz is they're known as one of the worst third-party companies ever because the controllers they made just sucked. They didn't last long or anything like that. And I saw this, and I don't know if I had this one growing up. I think I had a different one, and I'll show that here in a minute. I'm not sure if I had this exact one growing up, but we had quite a few Mad Catz controllers growing up. But as you can see, this one's just a clear blue Mad Catz. The X is faded off of it. The thumbsticks, yeah, they're kind of flat on top. They're not the regular, like, that kind of convex shape to it. They're actually just like flat instead. The D-pad is actually not too bad because it's like a Genesis D-pad, so that's kind of interesting. But that's my Mad Catz controller. I haven't actually plugged this up and used it or anything yet too. So maybe I'll try this one out. Maybe we'll see how it actually feels and is. This one I have used. This is a Viper 2 by Nyko, and I actually like Nyko quite a bit. They actually had really good PS3 controllers back in the day, because the PS3 controllers they released had actual triggers on them, instead of, the PS3 controller had those horrible, like, weird triggers that were, like, just regular buttons that would go back. They were not great controllers. So Nyko just basically took a DualShock controller, and they had triggers on the back of them on the PS3 one, like the Xbox 360 triggers, and that was a really good idea. But this is the Nyko controller for the PS2. I played with this one a little bit. It's kind of clunky just because it's kind of big and it's a bulky controller. It's not terrible. I got this one too because it was clear yellow, and yellow is my favorite color. So it's not bad. A lot of them have these, like, extra turbo buttons and stuff like that. I never use that stuff. I always kind of find that stuff kind of silly. Sorry about that. My dogs were starting to bark. They were getting excited. I have a second Viper as well. This is just a purple Viper. It's the same as the last one. Nothing special about it, nothing different. Just a different color of it. Now, I believe this is the controller that we had from Mad Catz growing up. And as you can see, it is an ugly little controller. These thumbsticks they're concave, but they're so uncomfortable, and the handles on it are really bulky and everything. The buttons up top, these aren't terrible, but the PS2 ones are still way better. The actual D-pad, it's not the worst in the world. There's worse, and you'll see what I'm talking about here in a minute. There's way worse. But overall, like, listen to that. The analog, like, has a click to it. The analog mode button. But, I mean, it's Mad Catz, I don't know what else to say about it other than that. It's a Mad Catz controller, and I wanted it because I had a lot of Mad Catz controllers growing up. So I've had this one for a while now, and I'm pretty sure this is the same exact type that we had growing up. I think we may have had a different color, but I think we had this type of Mad Catz. Alright, next up, this one's weird. Look how it's bent. Look how, like, they made this. That is such a weird controller design. I picked it up just because it was so weird. And all these controllers, at least when I bought them a few years back, they were so cheap, too. I don't know how much they are now. I can't imagine that these third-party controllers go up much in value, but I don't know. And then you see the front of it. It's just like, what is going on here? It's called the Cyber Gadget. And it's so odd to hold because your hands are down here and your thumbs are like reaching way up here, and it feels like you're like stretching out your thumbs really far just to be able to play your video games. The buttons are like all oval shaped and at weird angles. And this, I don't even know what to. This D-pad. The worst part about it is, like, I don't like it when you can click on the center of the D-pad and it feels like the entire thing just goes down. Don't like that. But yeah, this controller is just, it's wacky. It's a wacky looking controller. I will say the buttons on the back here, your finger kind of fits pretty well onto those, but those handles just make this entire thing so awkward to hold. I feel like if they would have taken these handles and just made them normal, instead of this bent back shape, I feel like this controller actually wouldn't be too bad. But because of that shape of it, it just makes your thumbs feel like you're stretching them out, and it doesn't feel great. It doesn't feel comfortable at all. It does have rumble settings too, like you can change the rumble off, low or high on it. It's kind of interesting. I don't think I've seen that on a controller before, so just built-in rumble features onto a PS2 controller. But yeah, there's all that stuff, and I mean, yeah, it's not great. It's not a great controller, but I get it just because it looks so strange. All right, and now last and least, this controller is this is the worst controller in my collection. First of all, this controller feels horribly cheap. It is a terribly cheap feeling controller. And I actually bought this one brand new, and you can still find them, at least as of like a few months back. I looked for them, and you can still get these for really cheap, brand new. They're not expensive, and they shouldn't be, because they're like, the material is this really cheap, hollow feeling plastic. It doesn't feel good. I don't even remember the company that made this. So where do I even start with this thing? So the buttons up here are terrible. They're really skinny for even the back bumpers, and they don't feel good. The front ones are okay. All this just feels cheap. This all feels cheap right here. You got these horrible squishy buttons. Like, these don't feel good. The analog actually is the best feeling out of all those, which is kind of sad. The thumbsticks are actually not terrible. The thumbsticks are probably the best thing about this controller. Maybe the analog is actually better than the thumbsticks, but still. And then the worst offender, this D-pad. Because this isn't even like an actual, like, regular D-pad. These are all individual buttons. Like, that's like one of the biggest sins you can do when it comes to a D-pad, is having it so they're all individual buttons. Like, that's just a no-no. You don't do that. You know, you just don't do that. Not a fan of this controller at all. But there you have it. That is my PlayStation 2 controller collection. I think the one that I'm probably going to be playing with the most, when my actual, like, controller that's got the drift finally gets to the point where I'm just not able to use it anymore, I'll probably use this Mad Catz one for as long as it will last, and we'll see how long it will last. I don't have much faith in it, but I'll either use this or one of the Vipers, because the Vipers aren't too bad either, or I'll just get one of the random third-party ones that you see on Amazon all the time. I haven't tried any of those ones. Alright, thank you guys for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe button down below, and I'll talk to you next time. You have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.